San Diego 6 News in the morning.
All right, well, the cost of student loans going way up. The market, as you saw there moments ago, down. And you really don't have a whole lot of control over those things. But what you do have control over is your financial future. But you have to seize the moment. And joining us right now, Erin Botsford, who is a certified financial planner and also the CEO of the Botsford Group and the author of The Big Retirement Risk. What's the biggest single mistake that most people make when it comes to retirement planning?
They don't plan. And, you know, I wrote the book because what we did in 2008 for our own clients, it worked so well. And, you know, we only have 450 clients or something. And I thought, well, maybe this, you know, our strategies and the way we think could work for a broader segment of the population.
You know, I've talked to just maybe one or two people in my entire life that actually started planning for this in their teens and early 20s. They look like geniuses now, don't they? I mean, they look absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, they do. And I think right now, today's youth, they're a lot more savvy than we were 20 and 30 years ago. They get it. They get that they're not going to have a pension from a company. They're not going to have Social Security will be up in the air. So the nice thing about it is they're more savvy than we are. They have access to more information, and they're starting early, and I totally encourage that.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk to my kids about this, but again, you know, everybody wants instant gratification. They want it now, but if you can start at a young age and get them kind of to understand the power of compounding and how this money is going to grow over the years, then it's pretty easy. But there's all sorts of folks watching right now that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and older that maybe haven't done anything yet. And the strategies are different depending on the age, right? Sure
they are. Well, I think the first thing that they need to do is, one, read my book, because I cover that. So it's hard to, you know, in a small segment to cover it. But for the 20-year-olds, what I always say is the first thing is just, you know, begin with the end in mind. One, know where you're going and what you want your retirement and your lifestyle to look like, and think beyond next, you know, weekend's parties, you know.
Right.
And so I always tell them, don't get into debt. So the only debts they should have is school debt and maybe a car loan. And beyond that, if they can't afford it, they can't buy it. And I'll give you an example. My son, I have a 28-year-old, so he's in that 20 to 30 demographic. He's in the military. He's married, and he and his wife have chosen, they live on one paycheck, his, and they save hers. So I know it can be done. It just, today's youth have to be a little more intentional about that.
And it's a mindset. And again, I've tried to help my kids understand that, you know, you can put off buying, you want your own plasma TV for your room or whatever. If you put
Get
it
Dad
off,
to do it.
Well, other than that, you know, put it off for 2 months and save and buy it in cash. Then it's paid for. And it's done. You can go on and worry about the next thing.
And the nice thing, the old layaway programs are coming back too.
This is what I understand. So it's starting to, you know, make sense to a lot of folks. One of the things that you say, though, is, you know, any time is the time to start doing it. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, again, the strategy is being different, though, but do something.
Right.
A lot of folks don't even take advantage of the 401k match with their employer.
Right.
Big mistake.
That's free money.
Right.
So I always tell people, I'm not a big fan of overfunding or max funding your 401ks, but unless you're if you're not disciplined, then you need to do that. But at the very least, you should take their free money and invest as much as they'll match. That's just basic 101. Beyond that, what I try and focus on in my book is the idea that retirement is not about some magic number, some number on your balance sheet.
It's really I noticed this in the notes, Yeah,
it's really about cash flow. So when you retire, what you want to do is you want to have investments that actually spin off cash flow, not some arbitrary number that, you know, you're going to have to convert to
I want to have $1 million when I retire.
That makes
well, what does that
difference.
mean?
Well, look at what happened in today's market. $1 million today might be worth $600,000 3 weeks from now. So you can't focus on that. Focus on cash flow and buy things that create cash flow.
And again, if you're watching the program this morning, you're getting into this very late. Is it too late when you're in your 50s, 60s, if you haven't really been very aggressive about this, to still do something about having, because again, like you say, Social Security kind of up in the air. We don't know if it's going to be there or not.
Right. Well, you know, my father had an old saying, and I thought it's profound, really, and it said, no matter how old you are, you know, the next 10 years is going to go by. The question is, what are you going to have to show for it? So unless you're planning to die in the next 2 or 3 years, you need to start doing something and saving something for a rainy day, for the day that, either you don't want to go to work, because I feel like our life's work and our investments and our savings, they're supposed to be the benefactor that allows us to live the life that we want to. So what we in my book I've tried to encourage people is I want to give them meaningful and real ways to work hard, save diligently, plan right, and then let their life's work be that benefactor so they can go enjoy San Diego.
All right, folks, the name of the book is The Big Retirement Risk. It's Erin Botsford. Thank you so much for coming in this morning, and we'll hope that just gives folks a little something to think about, pick up the book, and learn more.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.